and welcome to Gadget First. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Motorola Flipout. Okay, let's jump straight in, and what's better to take a look at first than Moto Blur. This feature is enabled on the Flipout, and thank God for it too. It's sleek, stylish, and works very, very well. We've only come across one slight snag, and that is the screen size on the actual phone itself. It's 2.8 inch and a resolution of 320 by 240, which is in fact QVGA. Other than the screen size, Moto Blur all in all works right up to its full potential and is an extremely decent addition. All in all, we're very pleased with Moto Blur. We give it 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 normally, but it's just the screen size that lets it down really, as you could put more widgets on if you had a bigger screen and it'd be easier to see. Alright, so let's take a look at the external features. On the front is the 2.8 inch landscape QVGA capacitive TFT screen, and this works in, well, pretty much all light conditions really. Along the bottom is the 3 capacitive buttons, pretty much similar with all Android devices. You've got the back button, home button and menu button. If you're wondering where the search is, it's just there on the keypad. We'll touch on that in a second. There's the logo. You have a Motorola logo at the top, and you can't really see it, but there's a speaker bar in the middle, just there. If you move on to the back, we've got the 3.1 megapixel camera and a mirror. And it just says 3.1 megapixels there, and the Moto Blur sort of logo just there. On the right hand side is the power lock button and the 3.5mm jack. There's actually nothing on the left hand side at all. On the top we've got the volume rocker, and on the bottom is the slot for your cable for when charging it or plugging it into the computer. It actually has a green light for some reason when you plug it in. For any reason why you would want a green light, there it is. Just unplug that. Okay. On the QWERTY keyboard, you've got your standard keyboard layout, numbers across the top. You've got a good, decent sized spacebar and return bar, and your 4-directional pad here for going back in a sentence if you need to change a letter anywhere. That's just about it for the external features really. It holds nice in the hand, although the screen, as I said before, could be quite a bit bigger. When you close and open the device, if you listen carefully, it doesn't exactly have the most expensive sound in the world, to be honest, and we're not sure whether this is because it's not as much of a professional phone as we thought it might be, or it can't really be that though, because it has such a hefty price tag attached to it. So we're not really sure what they're going to do, if anything really, but we're quite disappointed with the sound really, and the feel. It's not the best. It's not great. Connection wise, it has a wide variety of connections, including HSDPA, Edge, GPRS, HSUPA, Wi-Fi, 3G and Bluetooth, which is quite a lot to be fair. Battery life, well, it's not the greatest really, as it lasts 1.5 days at general usage, but under a day with heavy usage. I mean, well, that's astronomical really, that's awful. Again, for a smartphone at this price, we just expected just that little bit more, to be honest. Okay, so let's take a look at the operating system inside this phone. As you can see, you have your standard Android 2.1 home screen. You can slide to view everything else. You have as many icons, well, as can fit really. If you just tap and hold, you get this menu come up, and you can add shortcuts and things, or you can add wallpapers. So if I click this, click on live wallpapers. This was a huge disappointment. I, for one, like the Nexus wallpaper with Android really, and I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I just think it looks very nice. So let's activate it. Look at that. That is horrible. It's all funky lines, there's no smoothness going on, there's no fading around the outside or anything like that. It's just not a nice lock screen to have, to be honest. And this is clearly down to screen resolution, and this was a huge disappointment, and I fear it will be for a lot of users. Just going to change that back to one which is nice, which isn't a live wallpaper. There you go. Okay, so let's have a look at the menu. Tap, and it comes up straight away. Nice sort of fade transition, and it's quite smooth. And again, it's exactly what you'd expect with Android 2.1, and it's generally okay. And there's no immediately bad features, but if you get to use it more and more, it will start to get a bit laggy, and things won't run exactly how you plan them to. However, there are some features which are exclusive to Motorola. We've got Happenings, Moto Locator, and Phone Portal. If you go back and have a look at Happenings, this is, well, it's your Moto Blur really. It combines all in one list all of your apps that you've got from Moto Blur. It combines them all, and it's just generally very easy to read, and it's just so helpful. It's a bit like HTC Sense, but slightly different, and not as nice in my view, but there we go, you can't have everything really. That's just about it really. Obviously you still get your pull down menu, just clears your multitasking. It's a bit different. There isn't actually a task manager pre-installed on this phone, which is quite a shocker really, but I think it's mainly integrated on this pull down menu, and when you've got more than one app open, it will come up with clear just up here in the corner. You might have seen me just press it, and that's basically all you get really. That's just about it for the menu. Okay, let's have a look at the QWERTY keyboard. It is the standard, sorry about the quality, it's digital zoom. It is the standard QWERTY keyboard with your numbers going across the top. Very sensible size spacebar and enter key. Search button here, of which I talked about earlier, instead of being up here with most Android devices. Four-way directional pad, and the Alt key for symbols across the numbers and in this area just here. So let's take a look at it in action. If I go on to messages, let's create a new one, text message. Okay, before I start, if you don't actually like the QWERTY keyboard, you can type with an on-screen keyboard. This pops up. It's actually, believe it or not, very nice to use. You can get it with feedback or no feedback, and it's just generally a pleasing, nice keyboard to use. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to look at the proper keyboard. The buttons, however you may think, are not too big or too small. I doubt you're thinking they're too big. And they're a sensible size, and it does get a tiny bit of getting used to feel them and everything. But once you have got used to it, it's a very nice keyboard to use. It's just has a satisfying press, and there's no drawbacks or anything with it. And the symbols are easy to press, they're not out of the way or anything, and generally it's just a very nice, easy to use QWERTY keyboard. Okay, so let's have a look at the camera, or should I say, let's not. Basically, you have to have a micro SD card installed to take pictures or to record video, which, you know, is fair enough. And I've tried 3 or 4 different types of SD card, different makes and models and things, and none of them pick up. I'll show you. As you might not be able to see, but the second one down just here says removed SD card. SD card removed, insert a new one. Well, I'll show you now. I have actually got one right now in there. It's me. Okay, if we... oh, that's what it looks like inside, by the way. Okay. SIM card, camera again, and battery. And there. Does that or does that not look like an SD card to you? I put it in when it's on, didn't work. Took it out and put it in when it was off, still didn't work. Now, I am not entirely sure why this is happening, but all this means is that we cannot actually record the camera. So what I'm going to do is, once I finish this review, I'll post it up on YouTube, and then I'll look harder. I might even have to go out and buy one, buy an SD card, put it in, and make a separate video just of recording camera and video camera. But you can get on the app, and this is what it looks like. Quality is not too bad for a 3.1 megapixel camera. There are a few features which you can do. You can do a panorama, which if you watch the XT720 review, you'll see what happens. Basically, if you take one picture, you move it one direction, the camera itself will automatically tell you how far to move in the next direction. It will beep and tell you to stop, and it will automatically take the picture. And it will do that 4 or 5 times, and it's an extremely clever way of getting an accurate panoramic shot. And, well, the results are excellent, really. If we click on settings just here, as you can see, picture resolution, video resolution, online picture album, and review time. Not as many settings as maybe some people would like, but there you go. Zoom out, zoom in. Obviously it is a digital zoom. No flash. A camera if you want to take pictures of yourself with mates or anything. It's hardly a bad camera. But if you're buying this phone from a photographic point of view, then personally I'd stop you right here, as well you're not going to enjoy it as much as something like the iPhone 4, which does HD recording and an excellent camera. For now, that's it. As I said, I will try and post another video of purely for the camera app, but I just cannot do it right now as it's not working and it's not registering that I have an SD card in it, which is rather annoying. That's just about it for the camera, really. Okay, so let's give it Gadget First overall rating. With battery life, performance, screen resolution, all in mind, we'd give this phone a 7 out of 10. There are some good features, like the QWERTY keyboard and the on-screen keyboard, which works just as well. But there are a few drawbacks, like the screen resolution. It's not the greatest. Camera app, as I proved to you, is excruciatingly annoying, and some things you just won't get on with. But other than that, it's an extremely great phone. Thank you for watching Gadget First. Make sure you tune in next time, and to watch all our previous videos, including the iPhone 4 and the Motorola Milestone XT720.